Good afternoon. The title of this virtual poster presentation is How Can English Teachers Escape Their Egg Cartons? Fern Sakamoto, Tony Cripps, and I would like to thank you for joining us today. My name is Sean Toland, and I will be narrating this video. Here is the poster that we created. It's really difficult to see, so let's take a closer look. Before I start the presentation, we will hear a couple of sentences from Tony and Fern.
Hello from Japan. My name is Tony Cripps and I'm a professor at Nanzan University in Nagoya. Today you're going to be watching a presentation given by my colleague Sean Toland. And Sean, along with another colleague Fern and I, have been working on developing a professional learning network to support in-service teachers in Japan, specifically in-service teachers at Japanese high schools. Today's presentation will focus on a seminar that we gave which tried to help such teachers, and this seminar was part of an extension college program offered by my university. Every year we focus on a specific theme, and these seminars are opened up to in-service teachers, and usually junior high school teachers and high school teachers come to the seminars and the workshops, and they listen to the lectures and they get involved in discussions. Mostly we try to focus on current pedagogy and problems and how to resolve those problems. In today's presentation, I think Sean will focus on the professional challenges that high school teachers and junior high school teachers in Japan are currently facing. He'll focus a little bit on traditional sites of PD, professional development, and later move on to describe our PLN network, professional learning network that we're developing for the teachers. So please enjoy our presentation. If you have any comments or questions, we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fern Sakamoto. Thanks for joining this session. I work at Nagoya University of Foreign Studies in Japan, and I'm also a member of the team together with Sean and Tony working on the Professional Learning Network project. Now, in a previous life, I was an English teacher at high school in Japan. And these teachers are busy people. They have a lot to do in the school day, and it's very difficult to make time for professional development. And yet despite that, there are so many new things being thrown at English teachers here in Japan these days that they have to contend with. They're being told that they need to teach English in English, which, coming from a grammar translation background, as most teachers do, is a huge ask. They are having to deal with changing entrance exam systems for universities and preparing students for those, but at the same time they're being told to teach communicative English. It's a lot to juggle, and when there's not enough time for professional development, it's very hard to find support. And so that's why we started this project, looking for an accessible way for teachers to support each other and learn from each other in an online environment. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Please feel free to contact any of us if you have questions or comments. Thank you.
Here's an overview of the presentation. Number 1, I will talk about the challenges that Japanese English teachers face. Then I will look at the traditional sites of PD. Number 3, I'll highlight 10 21st century PD strategies. Lastly, I'll say a couple of sentences about our PLN research project. As Tony noted earlier, we had a workshop for in-service teachers last year. Here you can see the participants talking about the teaching and PD challenges they experienced. There were several notable professional challenges that emerged from the workshop. The first one is isolation. Lary famously described teaching as the egg carton profession. Many educators are isolated in their own classrooms and often have no idea what their colleagues are doing. Several of the participants felt that their voices were usually ignored and their principals had a top-down management style. The workshop teachers felt that they were excessively busy. A 2018 survey by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development revealed that Japanese teachers work an average of 56 hours per week. Most teachers have extracurricular duties on top of their regular teaching and administrative responsibilities. Teaching distracted and reluctant English language learners is another notable challenge. Teachers often come into contact with difficult parents. One participant said she was contacted almost daily by a helicopter mother. Teachers who are overworked and underappreciated can become burned out. Each year, a growing number of public school educators, including first-year teachers, quit their jobs due to depression and stress. The workshop participants also shared their PD experiences. Most of the PD they received was front-loaded. In other words, it took place during the early part of their teaching careers. This front-loaded PD included pre-service teaching practicums, classroom observations, and help from an assigned mentor. A large majority of the in-service PD the participants experienced was mandatory. It usually consisted of pre-packaged training courses, workshops that were spearheaded by an outside expert, and teacher conferences. Workshops and conferences can still help educators improve their professional skills. However, Lieberman and Pointer Mace remind us that the traditional PD approaches can often be fragmented, disconnected, and irrelevant to what goes on in a teacher's classroom. How can teachers go beyond the traditional sites of PD? The participants brainstormed ways they could revitalize their professional skills. We wanted to help Japanese teachers alleviate their isolation and be prepared for the challenges of teaching 21st century learners. The advent of Web 2.0 technologies, especially the ability to learn anytime and anywhere, has opened up an exciting new array of self-initiated PD opportunities for Japanese English teachers. Now, I will highlight 10 PD strategies that are self-initiated and practical. Number 1, join a professional association. There are lots of great local and international teaching organizations. Here you can see a screenshot of the TESOL website. Joining a teaching association enables members to learn new things via virtual seminars and online courses. Teachers can keep up to date with the latest developments in the field. Members can connect and collaborate with educators in other countries. A professional association can be an effective advocate. For example, new immigrant and refugee concerns. It also provides members with a wide variety of publishing opportunities. Number 2, join or start a critical friends group. What is a critical friend? Costa and Kalik tell us that a critical friend is a trusted person who asks provocative questions, provides data to be examined through another lens, and offers critiques of a person's work as a friend. There are several benefits of having critical friends. They provide support and offer suggestions if you are experiencing a problematic teaching issue. Critical friends can also provide practical assistance, such as sharing lesson plans and teaching strategies. Number 3 is peer observation. Invite a trusted colleague to watch and critique one of your classes. It is important to let your students know beforehand and explain the purpose of the peer observation session. Here you can see O'Leary's peer observation cycle. Before the observation starts, you will need to talk with your colleague and agree on a focus. During the observation, the observer will take relevant notes. When the lesson is finished, you meet with your colleague to debrief and reflect on the focus of the observation. Number 4 is record and self-reflect on your teaching performance. There are several important items that need to be considered before you bring a recording device into your classroom. It is crucial that you have the informed consent of the students. This can be done with an information sheet in the student's L1. You will also need to make accommodations for students who do not want to be recorded. Next, you should think about the lighting and audio quality before you record a class. If the camera is located at the back of your classroom, the sound quality might be problematic. Thus, it's a good idea to use a backup recorder such as a digital voice recorder or smartphone. The location of a camera is another important consideration. You should put the recording device in an unobtrusive location so that students don't become self-conscious. A video camera can disrupt the learning dynamics in your classroom. It's a good idea to start small. You can record and reflect on a certain segment of your lesson. This can help you get acclimatized to teaching in front of a camera lens. Watching yourself teach can create a certain amount of discomforting friction. Many people are self-conscious when they view a lesson video. The old adage, no pain, no gain, is definitely true. Although it can be an uncomfortable experience, you will learn a tremendous amount. If possible, it's a good idea if you can watch your lesson video alongside a trusted colleague. You will be able to see things from another perspective. Number 5 is lead an in-house workshop. Does your institution or department need training on a certain topic? Every teacher has something to share. Organizing and spearheading a workshop tailored to your team's specific needs is a powerful PD strategy. The three of us recently conducted 2 in-house workshops on Calabo EX, a call or computer-assisted language learning software. The workshops required us to create an interactive session and learn several new functions that we normally did not use. PD strategy number 6 is to organize or host an unconference session. The unconference presentation format is a unique, free-form, bottom-up type of talk whereby the participants set their own topics. In addition, it is perfectly acceptable for a person to parachute into a conversation and leave the room once she or he has acquired enough information about a topic or lost interest in the discussion. An unconference session encourages active participation and the discussions are organic, whereas a traditional presentation often includes a memorized script or the reading of text-heavy PowerPoint slides and a brief question and answer period. Here is an example of an unconference sign-up sheet. The participants have written their names and the title of their talks on a post-it note. The organizer of the event would then assign each presenter a room and a time slot. An unconference session can also take place in a virtual environment. Recently, the Japan Association for Language Teaching, Teacher Development SIG, hosted a type of online unconference session. The participants could talk about anything they wanted, and none of the presentations were vetted. Most of the presenters focused on their experiences teaching during the COVID-19 era. People could watch the video conference presentations in real time and interact with the speakers. The presentations were recorded and uploaded to a YouTube channel. These videos also generated a lot of forum chats between the presenters and viewers. PD strategy number 7 involves examining lessons and co-creating instructional materials with your colleagues. In the early 1990s, educational reformer Manabu Sato developed Lesson Study for Learning Community, or LSLC for short, to facilitate democratic learning for students and teachers in Japanese schools. The LSLC approach emphasizes reciprocal collaborative learning in groups and the sensitization of teachers to students' learning needs. This is done through focused observation sessions and critical reflection. Nowadays, schools all over the globe have adopted LSLC to make learning more accessible and engaging to students, educators, and community members. Lesson study is a learning cycle that enables teachers to experiment, reflect, and improve. Teachers work together to study student learning. The first step is to establish goals. Next, educators work collaboratively to plan lessons. During the implementation stage, teachers test their ideas in the field. Lastly, the members of the lesson study group get together to debrief and reflect on the learning that they observed in their classrooms. The cycle of learning is ongoing and supports continuous improvement. PD strategy number 8 is to take a distance education course through a virtual learning environment. In recent years, VLEs have mushroomed as universities all over the world have adopted them to support distance education students. They have become increasingly popular with English language educators who want to advance their formal qualifications. A VLE is a web-based communications platform that can be used anytime and any place. It provides students with access to a variety of learning tools, resources, discussion boards, document sharing systems, and teacher assistance. VLEs are spearheaded by a tutor who controls the course content and pacing. All students are required to complete the same tasks within a specified time period. The VLE learners are focused on achieving a specific goal, namely passing course modules and obtaining a degree or certificate. There are several benefits of belonging to a VLE. Graduating from a VLE course can advance a teacher's career. In other words, it can be a feather in a person's cap. Obtaining new qualifications can also provide an educator with a certain level of job security. Professional and personal relationships can germinate in a VLE. Students can network and collaborate with their classmates. They can also provide one another with emotional support and academic assistance. University administrators are constantly recruiting students from all over the globe to generate funds and add diversity to virtual classrooms. Thus, VLEs can open the door to greater intercultural awareness as the students often have different ethnic backgrounds and professions. There are a number of obstacles in a VLE. Information hoarding, a lack of trust, and an absence of genuine dialogue can be problematic for many students. Technological tools that are not user-friendly or fail to work properly can frustrate learners. Messages in forums can often be misconstrued, especially if individuals are using cultural references and idioms. Social loafers and free riders, who are students who do very little work and rely on their classmates, are common in VLEs. Overposting can cause many students to feel overloaded with information. There are also inevitable time lags as students are studying in different parts of the world. PD strategy number 9 is to learn a new technology that you can use in your professional practice. When ICTs are successfully integrated into a classroom, students can become more engaged and take more control over their own learning. Incorporating new ICTs into a lesson takes time and careful consideration. It is essential that you don't put the technology before the pedagogy. You will probably want to feel fairly confident when you demonstrate a technological tool in front of your students. Thus, you will need to practice and keep your skills up to date. The sudden shift to an online learning environment resulted in many teachers creating their own classroom websites and instructional videos. Here is a clip from a video that we created for a first-year academic English course. PD strategy number 10 is to join or start a professional learning network. A PLN can foster self-directed and informal learning. Trust, Kruka, and Carpenter defined a PLN as uniquely personalized, complex systems of interactions consisting of people, resources, and digital tools that support ongoing learning and professional growth. Wenger's cutting-edge concept, communities of practice, has been widely used to study learning in a variety of different contexts, such as healthcare, architecture, and English language teaching. A community of practice is a group of people who share a common interest or concern and seek to deepen their knowledge and expertise by interacting with one another on a regular basis. A teacher's PLN is a type of virtual community of practice. PLNs are multifaceted structures that are constantly evolving and changing. For example, new teachers will join, other members will take on different roles and responsibilities, or even disengage from the community. We can see the ebb and flow of a teacher's PLN with Kruka, Carpenter, and Trust diagram. Members will use different tools to engage with one another. Their interactions will lead to the discovery of new things and the willingness to experiment with new teaching strategies. Reflecting and sharing are also important elements in a teacher's PLN. PLNs are the ideal way to personalize your professional development. You will get connected with other teachers and be able to share ideas and resources. PLN members regularly experiment with new approaches and reflect on the results in the online forums. What are the benefits of a teacher's PLN? A PLN is considered to be an extended staff room by many teachers. It is a place where genuine conversations occur. The constant interaction within a PLN can help a teacher enhance her critical and reflective thinking. Every teacher has something to share. Thus, a lot of collaborative knowledge can get generated in a virtual community. PLNs can help members develop strong interpersonal bonds. Teachers also frequently share lesson plans, student work, teaching strategies, and provide each other with constructive criticism. Earlier in the presentation, I noted that isolation is a serious challenge that teachers face. A PLN can help alleviate this inevitable job hazard, and members can provide one another with emotional support. There are a couple of potential obstacles in a teacher's PLN. Earlier in the presentation, I mentioned that a typical distance education VLE classroom will have students who come from different parts of the globe and work at a variety of jobs, whereas a teacher's PLN is more localized and is usually made up of pre- and in-service teachers. Critics such as Neil Selwyn believes that teachers' PLNs lack diversity. He called them enthusiastic but inward-looking cliques. Many PLN members can be inhibited about debating and critiquing their colleagues. This is especially evident if there is a power imbalance within the PLN. For example, a teacher might not be comfortable criticizing her principal or supervisor. Here you can see a small group discussion activity we used with the Extension College participants. We wanted to learn what elements should go into a Japanese English teacher's PLN. The ideas that were generated from this activity were really insightful and were incorporated into our research project. This is the planning sheet that one group used. This group felt that their PLN should be open to the members of the workshop and teachers from their respective schools. The sharing of instructional resources was also an important component of their PLN. Here is a screenshot from the Japanese Teachers of English PLN website. There is an area for teachers to share lesson ideas and resources. The forum section enables teachers to start a conversation on a topic of their choice and join different discussions. We also included a blog area for the teachers and researchers to share their thoughts. We will conclude our presentation by leaving you with a final PD thought. Zepeda reminds us that professional development is never the end, but rather the beginning of the journey toward learning. Thank you for joining us today. Please feel free to contact us with your questions and comments. We are looking forward to hearing from you. Our PLN research project is supported by the Japanese Society for the Promotion of Science.